and welcome to NjustUs, the show that shares stories of injustice and allows listeners to join the conversation. We feature guests impacted by the criminal justice system and or making an impact in the Black community. I began hosting NjustUs in May 2020 when the late Abraham Amir invited me to join his DMV Urban Flavor Radio family following an interview I gave about my fight with the criminal justice system on one of his shows. He saw something in me I didn't see in myself, and I am forever grateful for his vision. May Abraham rest peacefully knowing his legacy lives on. I am pleased to say that Injustice is now a part of the Beltway Beyond and Radio family, and we are live streamed on at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I am author Melinda Robertson, founder of Black Mothers for Justice, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit that provides a safe space for mothers with children wrongfully or rightfully incarcerated. The purpose is to give them a better understanding of the judicial process and teach them more effective ways to cope with their child's fate without falling prey to substance abuse. The ultimate goal is to educate mothers about systemic racism and an unfair and unjust criminal justice system because we believe knowledge is power. If you would like to join the Black Mothers for Justice movement and help rebuild the village that's missing in the Black community, please visit www.blackmothersforjustice.com and join our Facebook page. A Black Mother's Guide How to Survive the Criminal Justice System Part 2 is hot off the press. Part 1 is a follow up. I'm sorry, part one consisted of five mothers impacted by the criminal justice system and their stories of how they survived it. And part two is a breakdown of the entire legal process from the arrest, arraignment, search warrants, public defenders, etc. So mothers and grandmothers can have a better understanding of the judicial system if their child is or becomes incarcerated. I will be hosting a book signing, giving away free copies of these books on this Saturday, April 15th, at the Francis Gregory Library, located at 3660 Alabama Avenue in Southeast Washington. Those women that participate and would like to join the Black Mothers for Justice movement, they will also be given one of these Black Mothers for Justice t shirts once they join the family. So come out on Saturday, the 15th, and show a sister some love and get these books, and everything is free. So it's all about me giving back to the community. So I hope you guys come out and meet me there. I am sad to report that there has been yet another mass shooting in the United States. Actually, there have been two since our last show. On Easter Sunday, four people were killed, including two children in Orlando, Florida, over a domestic violence situation. And on Monday, a disgruntled bank employee in Louisville, Kentucky shot and killed six people, injuring nine others. In March, there were 38 mass shootings alone, killing 57 people and injuring 133 others. The most, it's just frustrating. I just don't even know what to say. The last time I was here, we were talking about Nashville, Tennessee. Each week, it seems like we are dealing with this. What will it take for the Republicans? That's what I said, Reflugigans, right? That's who they are. Okay, we don't even call them Republicans no more. So the Reflugigans to put the guns they love so much down and enforce stricter gun laws in this country. According to the mass shooting data and research statistics, other countries have had far less mass shootings. For instance, Russia has had 21, France 8, German 5, and Finland has had 3. To give you an idea of how huge the disparity is for countries with gun laws in place. Not only are we one nation under God, but we are also one nation under gun violence. And I pray that Congress will finally put some gun laws in place. And I extend my condolences to the families in Kentucky and Florida. Tonight's featured guest is Donna Archer, who's also known as Amina Earl on social media. She was born in New England and has lived in Michigan and Spain. She moved to Virginia in 1992 and has lived in Fairfax, Stafford, and Dumfries before moving to Woodbridge in 2021. Donna is a community manager and provides housing for active duty military service members. She has six beautiful children, three girls and three boys, and is a very proud mother. Donna says there are simply no words to describe how much her life has changed since May 15th, 2022, when she lost her 23-year-old son, Malik Xavier Lamar Davis, to gun violence. She doesn't believe her family will ever be the same after their devastating loss. Christian Jamal Roberts was also a victim of this homicide, and he was found alongside her son Malik. Two juveniles, 15 and 16 years old, from Woodbridge, have been arrested for these murders and are currently awaiting trial. The teens were not their names were not identified because of their ages, and they are both currently being held at the Prince William County Juvenile Detention Center. Detectives have determined the incident was the result of two teens of their initiations into the criminal street gang known as the Bloods. The 15-year-old was charged with two counts of first-degree murder, one count of use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, one count of shooting into an occupied dwelling, and one count of possession of a firearm by a person under the age of 18. And the 16-year-old has been charged with two counts of first degree murder, one count of attempted murder, and other charges in connection with the shootings. Donna is here tonight to share her story and talk about her ongoing fight for justice for Malik because she wants both juveniles to be charged as adults and not just a slap on the wrist, which we see so often happening today with youth killing and committing such heinous crimes and just being held until they're 21 years of age. So please join me in welcoming Donna Archer to the show. How are
Hello.
you, Donna? How are you this evening, considering all this going on?
I'm okay. I'm managing.
I just want to first of all extend my deepest condolences to you once again and your family in this huge loss. I commend you for fighting this fight. And if at any time during tonight's interview you need to take a break and you feel free to do so. Okay.
Okay.
I know that it's maybe kind of difficult for you to have this conversation, but I do believe that it's necessary so that you can bring light to what you're being subjected to. So, listeners, if anytime you would like to chime in on a conversation or speak with Donna, please dial the phone number that's on the promo flyer. So, Donna, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. And what's your daughter's name? Hey, daughter.
Hi, I'm Kay.
Hey, Kay. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Glad you're there with your mom.
Yeah.
So, Donna, please tell us a little bit about who Malik was and what are some of your fondest memories of him?
Ooh, there's a lot. But Malik was known as a protector of the underdog, um, a huge prankster, with the family, especially with me. He got me every time. But Malik was very kind-hearted, very loving, very thoughtful. He was the type that would give his shirt off his back. Um, he was a little too trusting because he always saw the good before he saw the bad, which is something that the family and I, since he was little, tried to instill in him to not trust so much. And that trust kind of got him killed. But Malik also suffered from depression, severe anxiety, epilepsy. He had a little bit of a learning disability, but he did not want that to get in his way of living a productive life. Um, I guess one of the fondest memories that I have, there's a couple, but I remember quite a few times. I was tired, come home from work, I'd be laying in my bed, and he'd come in and just run and just jump and dive on my bed. Say, "Hey, mama." He was always saying that, always saying, "Hey, beautiful." You know, um, but his he had a sensitive side. I mean, he was no pushover by far. Um, but I think I knew the real Malik more than anyone did. He was pretty much sensitive. He cared a lot about kids. He loved animals. He loved music. And he just loved people. His biggest thing was he loved family. All he wanted was family time. Family to love him, people to accept him as he was. Um,
Was he the
but
oldest?
I'm sorry.
Was he your oldest? Okay.
No,
Okay.
no. He's my youngest baby boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Most boys are very protective of their mothers. Was Malik very protective of you?
Yeah, he really he loved me so much. So much where he actually got a tattoo with my name and birthday across his heart.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
So he was a mommy's boy.
Yeah, yeah, he was.
Yes.
He really was. Would do anything for me. It didn't matter. It was just, he and I and his younger sister, living together. And, I'd go to work, I'd have to stop at the grocery store. I would call him and say, "Hey, are you home? I have, some groceries." "I got you, mama." No questions. Come right down. He come to the car. "Go ahead in the house, mom. I got this." And if he had any friends over at the time, you best believe everybody's coming with him to help get these groceries out of the
That's
car.
right. That's right.
Yep. He was like, "Come on, let's go help my mom."
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, he was protective to the point where one of the other fondest memories that I have is he he wanted to do modeling, and they had this cast for it. He got a call back. Of course, it was by video. Everything was going good, but it, kind of ended up being what I felt was a scam, because when they did call back, it was late, and the guy kept pressing and pressing and pressing, money, 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 the whole
Yes.
thing. And then after a little while, Malik just grabbed the phone and hung up, and he was like, "Mommy," he's like, "It's okay. My time will come. Don't
Right.
worry."
Right. Right. Yeah, because they have a lot of those games going on for sure.
Yeah.
What were some of his hobbies, and what did he enjoy doing most?
Oh, he loved basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club for about 5 years. He and his brother Saquon were on my team. He loved it. It was a learning experience, because he kind of wanted the spotlight a lot.
Mhm.
But I was a coach first when it came to basketball, mom later. Um, so but we did really good. We went undefeated pretty much 5 years. Took
Okay.
championships.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and he loved music a lot, and fashion.
Oh, okay. Good. Yes, I was admiring him in all the different pictures. How tall was he?
He was about 5'10".
Okay. Okay. Nice pictures. Kay, would you like to share some of your fondest memories of your brother?
Um, I think, I mean, I have plenty of memories, but they're more just kind of like funny stories because, like my mom said, he was always playing. He played too much. But I mean, now that he's gone, one of the things that like I'll never be able to forget is, out of all of the siblings, I'm the oldest, and because he suffered from depression, there were times where he, thought about killing himself, and I'm the sibling that he always reached out for that. So,
Oh, wow. So you guys had such a special bond. Just such a special bond.
so
Sorry, Kay.
just the way our conversations ended, I made him feel better, and to me that meant a lot. in those moments, but now that he's not here, it means a lot more. Um,
Yeah, that's when you were like a second mother to him.
I watched him come out of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Dang, girl.
Oh my God. Look,
No,
the
no,
reason
it's
why I
okay.
ask is
I'm
because
40. I'm
the reason why
41.
I ask is because I let my daughter witness the birth of my son, and my daughter was 14, and my mom was like,
Okay.
"Oh, you could have did that," but I wanted her to see that it was not a game, and
Yeah.
she wouldn't become a teen mother like her mother was.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
she
I'm
was kind of
41, so I got some time on him.
okay. So, I know it's difficult for you guys to have this conversation. So if at any time that there's a question that you don't want to answer or whatever, just let me know, okay?
Yeah.
Um, have you guys considered therapy for for the family?
Well, I've been in therapy
Okay.
for quite some time,
Okay.
and I suffer from PTSD, depression, anxiety. I've been on medication. Um, it still hasn't got me where I want to be. I don't know if it's ever gonna help.
Mm-hmm.
It's helping, but I just go through spurts where sometimes I just have really bad days.
Mm-hmm.
I have spoken to my kids about also getting therapy. It's
Right,
not
right.
something I want to pressure them to do, but when they're ready, I think it will help.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah,
I think it would be very therapeutic to have someone that you can talk to. Um, because sometimes we internalize things and we just keep it in and no one really knows. So, I'm glad to hear that you're in therapy, Donna, because it's really good for you.
yeah,
Maybe one day you'll be able to see how beneficial it has been in this whole, process.
yeah.
So, as mentioned during the intro, there are two juveniles have been arrested for Malik and the other guy's murder. And they aren't being charged as adults. I mean, why is that? I mean, is that
Well,
something that you can request or
so actually, there were three people involved.
okay?
One is an adult. They are all incarcerated at this time. The adult's trial begins September of this year, and it's going to be about 5 days. The prosecuting team, um, believe it or not, has been very good. Um, I mean, they caught all three of them in less than 6 months.
That's a blessing.
Exactly. They put everything together. It's rock solid. Got the court date already for the adult. The other two, they are hoping to charge them as adults. But in the state of Virginia, the laws are different, and there is a long process in that. The end result, whether or not they will be determined by the judge by a judge.
Oh wow! So that's you have to wait until the trial to determine whether or not they're going to be charged as adults.
No, we have to wait until the process is over. And then
When
we
you say
will
process, do you mean the trial?
no process. Um, what is what I'm looking for? Whether they can certify them as being able to be charged as adults.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're what? Okay. Like running some tests or something like that.
They have to basically there's going to come a day where the prosecutors have to present so much evidence to make a judge then say, okay, this is enough to have them tried as adults. Like they have to fight for it. They can't just request it.
But they actually, see, here's the thing though. They have, obviously, they have the evidence. The first one they got, what was it, the Monday or like a day or two afterwards,
Right. That's a
because,
15-year-old that had the gun at school, right?
yeah, the same gun that he killed my son
Right.
with.
Right.
And he's still there. And then 4 months later, they got the other one. They are still there. The evidence that they have, it's rock solid.
Right,
Um, but because they were juveniles and they go by their age at the time of the crime, and
right.
because the law had just changed, it's a little more difficult. But they have to go through a process. They have to go through like mental tests and things like that. There's just all types of tests that they have to go through. The judge
On the actual perpetrators, on the kids, you have to do that. That's what you're saying?
for the juveniles, yes,
Okay. Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I
So
thought maybe they just take the information and like show it like, like to a grand jury or something, and then they determine that. Because a lot of times when I see different cases and stuff on TV, and I guess it's because it's Virginia for you guys, because I've seen them announce like upon someone's arrest in DC
Hmm.
that they're going to be charged as
yep.
adults. They tell you that off the break, so I've never really heard about um
Yeah, Virginia is something special. I'll tell you that. Something
right,
special. But I have faith in the team that
right.
my son that Malik has. They're doing an excellent job. I just hope that it turns out where they are charged as an adult. I think, and it's not really about a revenge thing. It
Right,
was heinous,
right, and it's
and
destructive.
you did it in my home.
Oh, it was in your home?
It was in my home. And they not only killed my son, they killed my son's childhood friend in my home.
Oh my gosh. So your son knew them?
Yes. And that's why I said trust got him killed. He
Wow.
trusted these people.
Mm, mm,
They were his friends,
mm, mm, mm. Have
despite the
you ever
fact.
met them before? Had you or Kay ever met these boys?
Yeah,
I mean,
I did, because he would bring them to my house, and I had a bad feeling. And again, Malik's always, no, mommy, they're good kids. They're my friends. They're my friends. They're good. He was always seeing the good in somebody despite
Right,
how I felt.
and he also
right,
had like a mindset. It wasn't a diagnosis, but even very close to the time that he was killed, not too soon before that, I was telling my mom that he needs to be evaluated in the sense that it's almost like he thought like a 17-year-old.
He
Even
did.
though he was, 22, it was like it was just some things that as an adult you like he can't be, this can't be his,
right,
20 something year old self thought like.
Right, he did. He did have that issue, and that's one of the reasons why, at his age, he was still home. He wasn't ready because he was a little behind. He wasn't dumb. He wasn't stupid. He
Yeah,
wasn't
not at
slow.
all.
He just didn't. He didn't have the ability to mature like a normal 23-year-old
right,
would
right,
mature.
right,
He was so I was always on him. He needed a lot of repetition.
Mhm.
He
And
had frontal lobe
consistency.
seizures, so that affected his organization, his decision making. So there was a lot of things that surrounded why he was the way he is.
Mhm.
He was like a 17, 16-year-old kid at
right,
22, 23.
right,
He was.
Mhm.
right, right.
But as a
Understandable.
mom, I knew that, and I had to still be there for him and still
Right,
try to, teach him and wait for him to mature before I would let him go, because he would have never made it in the streets. He wasn't a street person.
right,
That wasn't him.
right, right.
He
But don't
never he
forget,
didn't do
um,
drugs. He
you had to
didn't do
advocate for him
alcohol.
and stuff, and yeah, that's just a mother's love. I mean, we
Mhm.
know what our children need, and you were definitely on point when you knew in your heart that something was up with those boys.
Yeah.
That's so heartbreaking. Again, I'm just so surprised about Commonwealth of Virginia um, with these with with this new law. When did this law go into effect?
I think it was pretty recent,
It
a
was
couple of
maybe
years
it's
ago.
maybe been 2 years or
Yeah,
so
maybe
because
two
it
years.
wasn't too soon before this happened. They told us that it just changed where
Hmm.
um it before it was, you could be 15, you could be
Yeah,
14, and you could be tried as an adult, but the law that they changed, you had to be
they raised
16 and over
for it to be like
um
automatic.
for it to be automatic.
So if they aren't charged as adults, does that mean that they will automatically just be released at the age of 21?
I
They,
don't
they
know.
said that no, they told us that if they can't charge them as adults, then the most time they can give them each is 6 years. So they'll basically be out by 21.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case. I mean, I do hope, I do want them to get much more, only for them to learn, about what they did, because they didn't just take two lives. They took two lives. They ruined family after family
Family,
after family.
yes, yes,
Christian's family, it will never be the same. My family will never be the same. Their families will never be the same. So it's like a domino effect. So it's like, what, four or five families that has been affected by that one act of violence.
right, right. And for what? In the intro I was reading, it was saying something about they were being initiated into a gang or something like that.
Yeah, so that we can't really talk about that right now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Woo. So you said the trial begins in September.
For the adult, yes.
Oh, just for the adult. The boys don't have a trial date set yet.
No, and there will be a total of three separate trials.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you personally know the adult?
No. That's the thing that's kind of killing me. I've never seen him a day in my life. None of us have.
You know how old he is? Just curious.
20,
25.
25.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And see, and a lot of times I find that a lot of young kids that are doing these committing these type of heinous crimes are being coerced by somebody that's older. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And it's
Hmm.
just like leading them and guiding them and just letting them know, like, if you do it, then what's the most that can happen? You know what I'm saying? Because you are a juvenile. And
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think because of that, that's why we're seeing so many young people commit these types of felonies. You know what I mean? Carjacking and
Yep.
murdering people and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I think they go in knowing that, well, I'm only 15, so I
That's
ain't.
the problem.
That's the problem. You know
That's the problem.
exactly. And like juveniles, the juvenile detention center, if it's a place where they know where all their buddies, it's like one big party.
Yeah.
Be honest, you know what I mean? It's just like one big party. I remember, going down Lorton back in the day, visiting people and stuff, and I knew so many people there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but Lorton was a penitentiary that used to be in Virginia.
Yeah.
Like the youth center, it was just like all the guys from around the way, everybody was there. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't real punishment, I want to say,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just
I think they need to experience real life prison, enough so that they will really turn their life around.
right, exactly, exactly. Because the reality is not, it's not no guns in prison.
Right.
And I think that they want to be big and bad, and they want to be out here gang banging and stuff. Put them in there with the real gang bangers.
Exactly. But that's the problem today, especially the increasing violence in our area. That, like, probably 95% are juveniles. But, and that's why I don't understand why Virginia doesn't, you know, clamp down a little bit. You really need to make the laws more strict for these juveniles to make it a
Exactly.
deterrent.
And I'm thinking that maybe when they changed those laws 2 years ago, you guys didn't have the influx of crime that you're having today. You see?
Right.
And so
Hmm.
maybe they did it prematurely because you guys weren't
Yep.
experiencing those problems that
Exactly.
you're having today. But like this year alone is probably more killings in the state of Virginia than it's ever been.
Right.
I mean, because I remember years ago compared to the DC homicides, it may be like two or three in the Commonwealth, like in Arlington or Alexandria or different places like that. Definitely
Hmm.
never what we're seeing today.
Right.
I just want to take an opportunity to remind those that are listening. Um, that if you would like to join the conversation anytime, please dial the number on your promo flyer to speak or comment or speak with Donna. So the trial begins. You said, okay, so let me back up. You said the trial, the boys have not been given a trial.
Not
Um,
yet.
so trial date yet. So if you were given the opportunity to speak with any of them, what would you say? If you spoke to the adult or the children, if you had a conversation,
The adult, the adult, I don't,
take your
you
time.
know, the adult makes me more angry than the two juveniles.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe in the death penalty because I don't believe that a man on this earth has a right to say when someone is going to die. However, if he were to get the death penalty, I wouldn't cry. I'm sorry. Now, the other two, there is one juvenile that I feel is truly remorseful. And I can't really get too much into that part
Right.
either.
Hmm.
Um, what I would say to him, I would be honest that you need to do the time. And I would hope that you would turn your life around when you get home and maybe even take some time out to talk to other children that are even thinking about doing something so violent.
Mm.
Um, and the other one, I don't really know. I don't know what I would say to him because I don't think he's remorseful.
Is your family and the family of the other deceased person like leaning on each other to draw strength?
A little bit. The other family, I do know the
One
mom, of course.
one other family.
Yeah, one other family.
Okay.
Um, but we haven't talked in a little while.
Oh wait, are you talking about Christian?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry. I
yeah,
misunderstood.
yeah. Christian's family. Yeah. But I just she's hurting too. You know what I mean?
That's why I was thinking that you guys would probably draw strength from each other.
Yeah, from time to time.
We
It would
did their
sound
vigils together as well. We
Yeah.
held their vigil together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Kay?
I was just saying we did their vigils together at
Oh,
this
okay.
at the same location and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So next month will be a year, guys. Will be a year since that fateful day. Um, do you guys have any particular plans on how you can remember Malik?
Yeah.
No
Well, we
plans.
plan on we have a few things planned. Big event for him. One of the things we're going to do. Malik loved burgers.
You said burgers?
He loved burgers. That was his favorite food, and baked macaroni and cheese. So one of the things we're going to do during the 3-day event is we're all going to have burgers for him.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
We'll have a couple of other events, but I don't really want to say what or where,
Yes, I get it. I
right now.
understand.
And
Um,
there's a lot to this story that I can't share right now, but when everything is over, um I would love to share everything.
I would definitely be continuing to follow this story
Okay.
because I'm a mother as well, and I know that it's just as a mother, no mother wants to experience anything like that, and my heart continues to go out to you and all the mothers, um, that have been impacted by this type of violence. Um, is there anything that the community can do to assist you guys in this fight?
Um, what I would really like, my biggest thing is just waiting to find out if they're going to be charged as an adult. I don't know if, sending letters um, would help, encouraging them to do the right thing.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
could ask your attorney. But I don't think that that could hurt. Like maybe writing the state's attorney's office, find out the exact, the state's attorney's office for that jurisdiction. Um, I mean, it can't hurt.
yeah,
But I think like maybe if you guys considered starting a petition, they have like my son was wrongfully incarcerated for 3.5 years, and I fought with everything I could to for his justice, and ultimately the conviction was ultimately overturned because I know I had a lot to do with my fight. I had over 10,000 signatures.
yeah.
What do they call these things? They call it it was on social media. I want to say it escapes me now, but it's .org. What is it? Something org.
Change.org.
Yes. Bam. Okay, we jumped in there. Change.org. That's it. That's it. Change.org. And see, if maybe if you were to start a petition and circulate it, you know what I mean? Because when you have a lot of people that's willing to sign that petition and stuff, it helps.
Okay.
I know I had over 10,000 signatures for my son in my fight. And I strongly encourage you to do that because any little thing will help. But as long as if you don't say anything, then they can kind of like slide it under the rug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I commend you for being here today to talk about it because this shows how determined you are in your fight. So that's one thing I would like to suggest um, to change.org. Um, in your opinion, what, if anything, can we do to stop the gun violence in the community?
Stricter laws on juveniles.
Definitely.
And honestly, I think that they need to start holding the parents accountable. A lot of our young boys are out there in the streets raising themselves. The streets are raising our kids. Parents need to be more involved.
So how does that
Uh,
look? Can you explain a little bit more? You say you think that parents should be held accountable.
yeah, I think if you have first of all, if you have a 13 or 14-year-old out half the night, all night, running around with guns, well, why don't you know that as a parent?
Right,
You know, talk to your kid more, be more involved with your children. Just don't let them go off and do what they want to do because this kind
right,
of thing happens.
right,
Getting involved in things they shouldn't be getting involved with, you know, looking for things that they're not finding at home, and
yes,
finding things that are just get them landed in jail or dead.
yeah.
13, 14, 15-year-olds should not be running around with guns.
I agree. I agree. But how would that do? Okay, so you're saying that, like, for instance, the 15-year-old, you think his parents should be held accountable
Yes, ma'am.
to what
Yes.
extent? When I say that, I'm just saying, do you think that they should be charged because they're juveniles? You think their
Yeah.
parents should be
Yeah.
charged with it?
I do. I
You
do.
do.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
interesting. I never heard that.
Yeah, because that's I'm not saying that the problem are the parents, and every case is different. But for instance, I've raised 6 kids,
Yes.
okay, by myself. None of my kid has gone out there and murdered anybody.
Right. Right.
None of them have run around with illegal guns.
Yes.
you know and I'm not a perfect mom, and I know there's a lot of moms out there who have raised kids and not had that issue, but there's a lot of moms that are not raising kids and have that issue. Those kids weren't looking for um to be a part of something just because, and those kids weren't being watched at that age because they spent a weekend at my house when I wasn't home.
Wow.
Why are you not looking for your child? Why are you not asking where your child is at that
Right.
age all night long?
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know?
think it's definitely important to be, involved in your child's life. And I'm from the I brought you into this world, I'll take you out type of mentality. That's where my parents were, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, mine
Um,
too.
yeah, exactly. So, they didn't play. They didn't play with us,
Hmm.
and I think, in my opinion, I think once Child Protective Services really got involved, maybe about 10 years ago, when Child Protective Services started charging parents that
Yes.
discipline their children, and
Yes.
then children got so bold that um, they started threatening to
Yep.
Mhm.
call the CPS on their parents. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I kind of think all of that is kind of like entwined together, because a lot of parents really felt like they couldn't put their hands on their kids
Right.
without being charged,
Right.
I mean, and I'm not advocating for you to beat your child, but I'm just saying
Right. You still should be able to discipline.
you should be able to discipline them. Okay, it's a whole difference between um whipping your child and beating your child down. You know what
Right.
I mean? I mean,
Right.
totally different, like, with bruises and all that kind of stuff. But
Right.
I mean, like for me, I could look at my son. I didn't have to say anything, but
Yeah,
that's the kind of power I had. Like,
that's right.
do. And see, and when we were growing up, it would be like if I walked into the room and my mom and her girlfriend, or something like that were there, the first thing they're gonna ask me is, "You see any kids in here?
Hmm.
See any kids in here?" So that means excuse yourself because it's no kids. But a
Right.
lot of young mothers today, they do any and everything in the
Everything in front of their kids. Yeah.
of their children. And so there's no respect. It's lack of respect for them.
Hmm.
So if they don't respect the woman that brought them into the world, how they gonna respect us?
No, they can't. They don't even respect themselves. If you don't respect your own mother or
Right,
the elderly, period,
right.
you don't
And
even have respect for yourself.
it's just so sad. I mean, just the basic things like to respect your elders. We don't
Hmm.
even see that today.
No,
They
that's been
don't
long
they're
gone.
disrespectful, huh?
That's been long gone.
Right. But the thing about it that as a grandmother, then I feel like it is my responsibility to make sure that my grandchildren, you know what I mean? So where do
Hmm.
you think the breakdown is my question. Where do you think the breakdown is? From past generations, do you think it started with our generation, the generation before us, or the younger generation? I mean,
It's definitely the younger generation because my generation, most of the time, if we had a problem, we would just fight. And after the fight, you just
It's
move
it.
on with your life.
Hmm.
I mean, of course, people were still killing. I'm not saying that didn't exist, but this generation, you can lose your life for looking at somebody's shoes wrong.
Yeah.
right, right,
It's
right,
different. You can't go out here late at night by yourself and always make it home. It didn't it's always been like that in the world, but this generation it's just changed things
Yeah.
for people like me who just go to work and mind a business. I'm no longer comfortable in a local lounge just hanging out because somebody's always getting shot or
Hmm.
something bad is always happening. And when I was growing up, we could do that and still make it home. We
Yeah.
was okay.
right. But see, I think modern technology has a lot to do with what we're witnessing
Yep.
today.
Yep.
Because these are violent video games. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's a $1 billion business. But a game like Grand Theft Auto, what does that do? It teaches you how to do what?
It
Hmm.
incites
Hard things.
violence.
Yeah.
Huh?
It incites violence.
Does. I mean, that one game, the latest game has over 725 killings, murders that have to be committed. You have to commit a murder to get from one level to the next. You have to commit a murder. And then the thing about it is that the murders are more outlandish, but actually it's what we are witnessing as far as shooting up the club, doing all of these different things that we are basically witnessing nationwide today. But nobody want to talk about the violent video games. But that has a lot to do with it because if a child with an undeveloped mind is 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, playing that game with all of this murders, just having to shoot this person, shoot that person, and they doing it for 6, 8, and 10 hours a day. It's in their mind. They can't decipher real life from the game. What do you
I
think
mean,
about that?
I guess uh, for me, I agree to a point, but if you raise your child to value life, their life, and lives of others, um, I don't think that a video game would turn them into a murderer. I mean, I know it could maybe for some,
Mhm.
but I mean, I know a lot of people that has played. I mean, I don't play the video games, but I know a lot of people where the
Right.
kids have played that, including my son.
Right. But you know what the thing is? I didn't start seeing this type of stuff until after the pandemic. And during the pandemic, people, when there was no
Yeah.
school, they was
Yeah,
playing it 24/7,
Mhm.
yeah,
day in and day out. That's it. Just this whole, and I think that's when the transition began, in my opinion.
yeah,
I don't know, but they have far more than we had as far as the modern technology and stuff like that.
right.
But look at what it's creating as a result. We didn't have
True.
that in our days, Donna. We didn't have that type of stuff. I mean, if two guys fought this morning, if they fought today, they back together drinking that night. They weren't
Yeah.
trying to kill. I think it's just so much self hate. I'm not sure. Um, were you able to find any groups in Virginia, like support groups to help you and your family through the grief that you've been experiencing since last year?
I mean, I did find one on Facebook that has been a little helpful. It's just that for me, um, doing the social media part is not like effective like I think it should be. And I did find one that I attended, but where it was located and with my schedule with my job, it was really difficult to be able to actually attend.
Okay,
Um, so, I would prefer something a little bit more local where I am that I can actually go to.
right,
But, between the support of, my children, my family, and my therapist, it's keeping me afloat because, without that, I probably wouldn't even be here.
right, right. Well, I'm glad there are there's for you, but I do will still also like to encourage you to seek out other groups as well. You know what I mean? I mean, even if it's a virtual one, or either um, connecting with mothers that have lost the children. You know what I'm saying? Especially
Hmm.
gun violence, that may also be some sort of comfort for you because they've experienced the same type of grief, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, because for the most part, I can't really speak on it because I haven't been in that situation. You know what I mean? Um, but I definitely encourage you to and stay connected with the other brothers, the other young man's family as well. I think that might bring you a little comfort as well.
Connected with who?
Christians.
What's his name? Christian.
Oh, with Christian's family.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That may also help you as well. Kay, what are you doing to help you through the process? Because I know it's just as difficult for you, and to see your mom, and I just my heart just aches for you guys. So, what are you doing for self care, if you will?
I mean, I do plan to start therapy more or less when I'm ready. It's not something that I'm against or anything. I definitely believe that I need it, but right now I just my energy is more like I rather pour my energy into her and making sure that she's doing what she needs to do.
Yeah,
Because I still have a younger sister at home, that
yeah.
she has to be okay enough to take care of. Um,
How has she adjusted?
Huh?
How has your younger sister adjusted?
Um, I mean, she is only verbal when she wants to be, so it's not like I can sit back and have a full blown conversation
Right,
with her
right.
about her feelings because she has Down syndrome.
Okay.
But I feel like now that time has gone by, I feel like it's just kind of something that she's accepted. But initially, we knew without her even having to say that she was very affected. She was looking for him, and
Yes.
there were times where my mom would be in the house with a t-shirt with Malik on it, and she would be like, "That's Malik, that's my brother." And that's kind of her way of saying, like, where is he?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Beautiful family picture right
Yeah.
there. Right.
And
Because
she
you
did
all
very well at his funeral. She kissed him and she rubbed on him, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I think she knows, but it's just she can't really express it how
Yeah,
me
like,
and my mom can,
yeah.
you
right,
know.
right. Well, I'm glad you guys have each other. Is there a message or something you would like to leave, Donna, with the audience? Where maybe you can speak to maybe other mothers, or what message do you want to leave with us?
I just, just as a mom, I'll always listen to your kids. Um, they're not always right, but they're not always wrong. Anytime you sense or feel or see anything different, get involved. Um, and don't give up, because if that child is heading down the wrong path and you ignore it, something bad could happen. Um, and to those mothers that have lost a son or a daughter, um, it's it, it's hard to kind of say these words, because it's you know people tell me all the time, and I know they mean well, but it's almost like the words, you can't, this I'm not going to say it doesn't help, but it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, I appreciate it, but just try to stay strong, the best you can. The one main thing I will tell moms that have lost a son or daughter is, don't ever let anybody tell you to stop grieving.
Right,
You
right,
grieve as long as you need to grieve. I don't care if it's a week, a year, or 10 years.
yes,
Um, it's something that's never gonna stop, ever. I am never gonna get over the loss of my son. Will it soften eventually? Is it gonna go away? Never. So if there's anybody out there listening, especially youngins out there, you need to think before you act about the repercussions and how many people it affects.
yes, yes. That is so real right there. Can you provide your social media contact information in the event one of the listeners or someone wants to reach out to you, that can maybe give you some more advice as to how they process their loss, and maybe they can help you?
Sure. So it's the Amina Earl on Facebook.
Okay, that's
Um,
AMINAH.
yes,
Right?
AMINAHEARLE, and that's on
Mhm.
Facebook.
Okay.
And the only other one I don't have like a whole lot of social media, but I do have Instagram. I don't use it a lot, but I do have it. And it's Karma is Real 98. It's all lowercase, Karma, KARMA _IS _REAL 98 on
Got it.
Instagram.
Got it. Thank you so much for providing that information. Any final words you want to share, Kay? Anything you want to give the listeners? Anything else?
No.
Well, I want to thank you both for being here tonight. Kay, I commend you for being there with your mom, and I just encourage you to make sure that you take care of yourself as well, because you're just as impacted by this tragic loss. And I know you're being there for your mom, but she wants you to be strong as well.
Exactly.
So please consider maybe you guys can go to therapy together, um, or Donna, maybe you can encourage her to sit in on one of your sessions or something like that. But I really highly recommend that you get it because it's a part of you that needs healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in
And I
order,
need her to do that for
yes,
herself.
yes, exactly. Because in order for
I
you
plan
to
on it.
heal,
I
huh?
think for me, I'll probably I'll probably get into it a little closer to the trial because I feel like
Mm,
I'm absolutely going to need it after the trial. Because that is a whole nother capacity of my mental
mm.
state having to sit through that. So,
Yeah,
um,
but I just encourage you to get it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
and I understand your reason behind that, but I see a broken person right there sitting next to her mother, and I just encourage you to talk to somebody to help her through that process. And you guys have each other, which is just such a blessing, and the trial can really be months down the road. You know what I mean? And I just hope and pray that you will consider getting it before then, because, for instance, um, the the anniversary next month could be very painful for you.
Mm.
yeah.
So I just really encourage you, and I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Donna, I'm only a phone call away. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here
Thank
for
you.
you. I encourage you guys to pursue the change.org um, petition and try to get that going. I will share it on all of my social media pages with no problem to help you get those signatures up there because that will help in the whole grand scheme of things. It's going to help tremendously if when they make the decision that they see that you have 10,000 signatures or more supporting
Okay.
that these boys be tried as adults. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome, guys. Nice meeting you guys. Take care. Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
okay. NjustUs will be back in the building on Wednesday, April 26, 2023. And if you would like to be featured on NjustUs or recommend a topic, share your story of injustice, please send an email to melindarobertson35@gmail.com, or you can instant message author Melinda Robertson on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Stay safe and be blessed. Peace.